I came from the mud. There's dirt on my hands.
Welcome to Build an Iconic Life podcast. I'm your host, Chris Whitehead, and this podcast is dedicated to help you build a life with zero regrets by focusing on how you have everything you need to stand up, stand out, and live life on your terms. Let's dive right in. Hey, I want to welcome you to Build an Iconic Life podcast. Thank you for showing up. And this episode is a special one because we're talking to Marvin Coffman. And I thought we were going to be talking about CRMs and everything about scaling your business, which we do. But from the very beginning, Marvin had something on his heart to share that made this, again, an extremely special episode. If you like what you hear, please leave a review on whatever your favorite platform is. Share it out on social media so other folks can get this information in their hands so that we can create leaders instead of followers. I'll see you in the trenches.
You have a tribe that needs to learn systems and automations. Let me come pour into them. And so that's the journey that I'm taking now. But God also put it on my heart to start a ministry. So I killed all my done-for-you services so I can put my time and attention into building a ministry.
What kind of ministry, man?
And it's called Handcrafted Warriors, right? So I'm a new Christian. I've only been practicing my faith for almost a year now.
Congratulations, bro.
Thank you. I was a Buddhist prior.
Yep.
And my wife asked me to go to Mother's Day service because she lost her mother 2 years ago. And she was like, it'd mean a lot. I know you're a Buddhist and you're not a Christian, but it'd mean a lot to me if you'd come to this service. And then I went to the service, and everything I was struggling with that week, the service talked directly to it. And so then I just kept going back, and week after week, whatever I was struggling with that week, the service spoke directly to me. And I was like, this is weird. So then I started reading the Bible, and I'm like, it tied into a lot of Buddhist principles where it's just like, this is how you just be a good human being.
Yes.
You know? The only difference between Buddhism and Christianity is Buddhism is an ideology, which teaches you we're all karmic energy that's connected together, and what you put out is what you're going to get back in the afterlife. Whereas in Christianity, it's God made everything, and what you put out is what you're going to get back in the afterlife, because faith without deeds is dead faith. And so I started digging into it, and then just over the year I started also noticing other humans in the church, and I realized a lot of people are just going to church to check a box off.
Yeah.
And so it's just outside of Sunday, they're not living by these core principles, right? Because I believe in faith, family, finance. I can never remember.
Fitness and fun.
Fitness, yeah. And so I'm 80 pounds down since I started working on my fitness and taking care of myself. And so I'm going to start a ministry to where we do church different, right? I'm going to teach my congregation all of these core principles founded in integrity. We're not just going to read the word. Before we get into the word, I'm going to have the whole group, the whole congregation stand up. Let's do some burpees. Let's do some jumping jacks. We got to move our body, put together Spartan races that are, and then we'll break bread together, share the word, and help people become good family oriented, help them get their finances in place. I'm not going to pass a collection plate and say, give me your last $10. God will provide a way. I'm let me show you how to turn that 10 into 50, build some wealth, and then you'll be in a better position to support the ministry and building the kingdom. And so
bro, one of the things that iconic is, so I don't wear the fish or put the cross on my neck, but I'm an apologist for Christ, right? I've been a Christian quite a while, and I moved away from the church for the same reasons you did. I felt like the institution itself, the religion itself is man-made, but the faith is not. And so iconic kind of is my ministry, bro. We bring God into iconic. That flame right there, that's the spark of divinity inside of each human. I'm very purposeful behind doing it. And yeah, I want to make money at it so that I can afford to live and do the things that we want to do. But truly it's bringing like-minded people in. And I'm telling you, man, that synergy of being able to do business with people that have the similar core values, being able to talk about what's going on with your husband or your wife or your children, or what's going on with you if you're really struggling. There's non-judgment amongst this group of people, and we're really helping one another. And it's exactly what you're talking about doing, man. And I support that, because our whole mission statement is we make leaders, not followers, right?
Exactly.
Because we need them, brother, especially here in America. Like, I grew up truly believing in my country and being willing to possibly even lay my life down for my country. And what I see going on the next round, you guys, our kids are 21 and 20. And this next round of leaders that is coming, like, who's teaching them? And so, we're going into this phase where we expect things from people, but we haven't given them the skills that they need in order to do it successfully. And then we just thrust them in. And not to mention, like, dude, you up here, so we're near Boston, you have to make $60,000 or $80,000 a year just to go live on your own.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to make it happen. And it's like, so inflation is increasing, pressure is increasing, and nobody's teaching anybody the basic fundamentals of how to treat another human being. Because when you treat people correctly, and this is karmic as well, what you put out comes back, not necessarily from the people that you put it out to, but you're planting those seeds, right? And some of that's on fertile soil, some of that's on the rocks, some of that's in the brambles, but that's not our place to worry about where they sprout up. We're supposed to plant seeds, and we're supposed to become wiser, and then we're supposed to find the soil to plant them in, then we nurture it. And it's so easy to communicate with people about simple parables, a lot easier than it is to get into ideological discussions. Because that just separates. And dude, that flame, at least in my, like, that's a singularity. There's not one human on earth that does not have that in them. And if you're still long enough, you can observe someone and see the spark of divinity inside of them. And bro, that touches my heart, because for me, without God and just running through the principles, man, that's too much pressure.
Yeah.
It's too hard for me to hold that world up. And when I was younger, I was kind of doing that. And then eventually, similar to you, like at the right place at the right time, God just came and spoke to me, dude. And I challenged. I said, if you're real, prove that you exist. That was a funny thing, because literally God has never stopped proving who God is to me since I asked that question.
Yeah, 100%.
And bro, I don't feel alone anymore. Even when I'm all by myself, I don't feel alone. Like, I have a best friend. It's friggin' amazing. Tell me how this hopefully, I mean, I hear you say, like, okay, so my wife invited me to church, and then I went and answered all the questions, but what was going on inside of you that started changing? And we will talk about your business too, by the way.
What started going on, right? Like, so I was at a pretty dark place at that point in life. Like, I was considering taking my own life at that. My wife, none of my colleagues. I'm the type of person where, I feel it's my responsibility and duty to lift the energy in the room. So regardless of how I feel, like, I'm gonna make sure that everybody knows that I see them and I'm here for them. But at the time, my business was collapsing. Like, I couldn't figure out how to get the business going. I felt real defeated as a husband, to my wife and kids, because, like, I'm not holding up my household the way I should be holding up the household. Um, I had, like, clients leaving me for ridiculous reasons, and these are like clients that, I mean, they weren't even paying me. They were just like, if I see potential in somebody, I'm going to pour into them, and then basically I poured into them, and it was all for null. And so I was feeling really worthless. And so I just started praying about it, right? Like, I don't, because, like, after that first service, I was like, all right, God, right? Like, this is me having a conversation with myself, or I felt like myself, but I was like, all right, because I believe everything happens for a reason, right?
Yeah,
Like,
bro.
there was a reason I was supposed to go to that service. And it was like, it literally spoke on, you know, So sometimes you're going through things in life, but remember everything happens for you, not to you. So if you're going through something right now that's dark and you don't understand why, try to find the lesson in it because there's a reason you're going through that.
Yep.
And so I'm like, all right, God, what's going on here? Like the message was exactly for me. So what am I supposed to do? And then I got clarity, and the clarity I got was to release all of those people in my life that was making me feel that way. And it was like a burden lifted off my chest because I was so fearful to let go of all these bad clients because I was like, well, what am I going to do about my business? Right. And then the next week after that, it was talking about remaining steady in your faith, right? Trusting that there is going to be a way that you just have to keep taking action. And so basically restructured the company, let go of a lot of clients, drew a line in the sand essentially. And then I brought in 30K of revenue. And I was like, all right, all right. So let me just keep going back to the service. And I'm working through all of this because I actually lost one of my biggest and most important clients. And the reason why I lost them was because, like, by default, when things start going sideways, I start ignoring my own health. Right? I don't do that anymore, but the last year, this is what it was just a repeating pattern where I'd be doing great for 2 to 3 months. Some fire would happen in the business, and then I would get absorbed in the business for 4 to 6 weeks, working all hours of the night, not working out, not eating, like just treating myself like shit.
Yep.
And so one of my clients, he's like, "Hey man," because I went back to him. I was like, "Why?" Right? Because like I made this dude so much, like it just didn't make sense to me. Because like literally, I almost tripled what he paid me like in a single weekend when we launched this thing. And he was just like, "Well, you fell off your health journey, and how you do one thing is how you do everything, and I don't want to do business with somebody like that."
Wow.
And so I was like, all right, that was some hard truth I needed to hear. And so then that's when I started focusing on my fitness. Right. And then just so instead of me focusing on the business and how to grow the business, I just started focusing on me and praying. And it just became this, like, it was 6 to 8 weeks of just praying like every day, and then just focusing on my diet, focusing on working out, and just trusting the business it's going to work itself out because I
You know,
needed
I
to focus on family and everything else first.
yeah, bro, and it's really counterintuitive. You know, we sometimes by working less on your business, it actually increases more. And I know for me, like back in 2012, I had started a company called Think to Succeed, personal development company, and we threw our first event and local event, and I gave the hotel my American Express card, and that was not a smart thing for me to do, and I couldn't pay the bill by the time they had charged everything on it. It's like 13 grand extra, and so I defaulted on that payment, and my credit got messed up. And so in 2015, I actually started the remodeling company, and I built it to 7 figures on cash. And Marv, that was probably one of the hardest things I've ever done. I had to monitor the money coming in, payroll, all sorts of things. And sometimes we'd have a contractor or somebody not pay us on time or at all. And like just had to figure it all out. But in that process of 2012 to 2015, like I didn't have any credit and I didn't really have a lot of money. So it's just me sitting on a couch, right? And I had a little plaque on the wall and it said, "Be still and know that I am." And I would just sit there at night and just stare at that. And the god awful feeling inside of me of like, bro, I'm an entrepreneur, so I'm always looking for opportunity. And
Mm-hmm.
it's like, I don't smell any opportunity. So I'm just sitting there and I could just feel me caving in. But I truly believe that was God teaching me patience because, you know, now, bro, I mean, our overhead's 40K a month, you know, just in one company. And if you'd have told me that in 2012, I wouldn't have known how to handle 40K a month in overhead. How do you sell that much? How do you blah, 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 all those things? But what I learned is going through those dark times, right? New levels require new devils. When you play that video game, the big boss at the end, it just keeps getting a bigger and badder boss. But all those skills that I learned on level 1, level 2, and level 3 are what I'm using on level 7 to beat that boss as well, right? And as I started to understand that, I started to see in good times and in bad, I can be content. I can let go of worry about money. I can let go of worry about other things, and I can start focusing on my gratitude. Have you ever heard of a book called The Gap in the Gain?
Yep. I have it on my shelf.
Yeah. Have you read it?
I haven't. It's on my shelf help, like books
Yeah.
I collect and haven't read.
So my shelf help. Bro, when you get a chance, I'm an audio guy because I can get way more done listening to audio. But if you ever get a chance to read it, please do. There are 3 levels in Gap in the Gain. There's where you begin, what your goal is, and where you actually are. And most of us get into the gap when we compare where we are to where we ideally want to be. And all you ever have to do to stay in the gain is compare where you are from where you began. It'll change your mindset that quick. And that's part of learning, going through those tough things that you're going through, because you're going to go through a lot more tough shit. And as you do it, if you can remain in gratitude, if you can remain humble to God, whatever that means to you and whoever God is to you, right? I'm not here to judge that. I just know for me, I have a personal relationship. So it's like, I don't really care what anybody thinks. I really don't, like, at all. Like that's between me and God. But as I practice that, I am grateful, bro, because I'm going back to where I came from anyway. It doesn't really matter. None of this shit really matters. I'm just here to fulfill my destiny. I know each of my days are ordered, right? It's whether or not I'm willing to lean in and pay attention. And there's a lot less of me running my mouth and doing actions now, and a whole lot more of me observing and trying to help other people. And I think that's what you're exactly in the process of doing, man, is learning how to just get rid of Marv so that you can just shine that energy on other people to lift them up and to help them live a more blessed life. That's beautiful, man. Absolutely beautiful.
Like, that's actually one of the things I've been intentionally practicing. Like, every day I'm writing down 3 things I'm grateful for. This is an exercise. I forget where I heard it originally. I've actually heard it in a few places now. It's funny how when you hear one thing, you start seeing it in more places.
Yep.
But it was like, here's the best thing to do when you're like having an anxiety attack, you're freaking out, or you just don't know, like, where am I gonna go from here? Is you put a timer on your phone for 2 minutes and you just start writing down everything you're grateful for. I'm grateful the sky is blue. I'm grateful for my kids. I'm grateful for having clothes on my back. Like, everything that you're grateful for, no matter how big or small. And then when the timer goes off, read the list back to yourself. It took me a while because it's very easy for entrepreneurs, especially ones that haven't crossed the 7-8 figure threshold yet, because you get so obsessed with the hustle culture and like where you think you should be versus where you're at right now. Right. And so that's something I used to struggle with a lot. Is like, man, I've helped build multi-million-dollar companies, but I haven't built a multi-million-dollar company for myself yet. And so I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, why aren't I at 100K plus a month? Why aren't I at 200K? I just helped this dude go from 3 million to 10 million. How come I can't do that for myself? And then I started being grateful because, like, now I'm in a position where my overhead is $24,000 a month. If you would have told me 2 years ago that I'm going to be in a place where I can pay $24,000 a month and have money left over after that, I would have told you you're crazy, right? And so it is about just having that little bit of gratitude of like, where did you start and where are you at right now, right? And you continue to evolve. And this is one of the things I learned through the Lord, right? When you ask the Lord for something like courage or patience or wealth, you're not just going to wake up and have more courage or wake up and have more patience or wake up and have more wealth. He's going to put these opportunities in front of you where you have to take action and be grateful through those actions, because everything you want in life you already have. It just may not be in the form that you expect it to be in. But until you can appreciate the form that it's in currently, the Lord's not going to reward you with more.
Absolutely. We ask for patience, and what you get are tribulations so that you can learn to become patient. You ask for courage, you're going to be put in battles so that you can grow courageously. What people often don't ask for is peace, though. You don't have to do much at all for peace other than get away from the negativity and insulate yourself. Another thing that I've seen people mess up on, and I used to mess up on it really, really big. You know how it says the love of money is the root of all evil?
Yeah.
Right. It is. A lot of people say money is the root of all evil. No, it's the love of money that's the root of all evil because you're idolizing something.
Hmm.
Money is a tool, bro. That's all it
Exactly.
is. So I
Money.
get my clients in and they're talking about increase in money and they're like, I don't know. And I'm like, turn the word money into hammers. It doesn't matter but turn it into a tool so that you start thinking of it properly. I don't covet money. See, real wealth is because you never allow money to sit still. You just keep moving it and churning it and going higher and higher and higher with it. And there are thousands upon thousands of ways to do that. You get to pick your way of doing that. But when we covet it, it's kind of like that whole thing about talents. We shove it in the ground and we bring it back to the master a month later and we're like, here, I saved the one talent. And the master takes the talent away and gives it to the guy that was able to take 5 and turn it into 10. Because that's
Yeah.
what we're supposed to be doing with that stuff. But when we covet something, when we're afraid we're going to lose it, and I'm talking relationships even, bro. Like I went through this growing period where I realized that as a man, I actually didn't love Robin truly. I actually judged her because she was a girl. She was different. And the experiences I had had with other women growing up or my mom or whatever. And I started realizing I had to let go and just observe, just be still and allow the truth to show up, not my truth. And that's why I've always been a really curious person because like what is the truth? I just want to know. And
Yeah.
here I am 50 and I don't have many truths, bro. Not many. The rest of it I'm just always in search of, and I'm always looking to hang out with other people that are searching too. And it doesn't matter whether you're Muslim, it doesn't matter to me whether um uh, you're a Hindu, a Buddhist, a Christian. It doesn't matter. I want to have a conversation with you. I don't care if you're white, black, gay, fat, skinny. It doesn't matter. I
Yeah.
don't care. I want to understand what have you gone through because one of the things, and I was actually outside talking to our production manager about this earlier. I said, do you know that I think less than 10% of the population after the age of 18 ever reads a book again, nonfiction? Like less than 10%. So 1 out of 10 people after the age of 18 are going to read a nonfiction book. And I said, it doesn't make any sense to me because that person might take 20 years to then take 6 months to write the book that I can listen to or read in 6 hours. And I just got 20 years worth of experience.
Yeah.
That's multiplying wisdom. And that's what I want more of. I don't want more knowledge. I want more wisdom. And the only way I'm going to get it is by trial and error.
Exactly. Living life, right? Like we're supposed to be fruitful and multiply, right? A lot of people interpret that as like we're supposed to just have more babies. And no, it's like you're supposed to plant these seeds. Everything that you learn, you're supposed to teach it to others and help others grow. That's why I give the game away for free, whether you pay me or not. I'm going to teach you how to do what I do. One of my core principles is capital should never be a reason you can't do what I do. That's why I have 500 videos on YouTube, right? Like the same thing that people pay me thousands of dollars for, you can go learn on my YouTube right now. And it's because it's our duty. The fact that if you're living and breathing is such an anomaly, right? To just become a human being walking around on this planet, statistically speaking, is an anomaly,
Yep.
right? So I believe if you wake up and you got air in your lungs, regardless of your circumstance, like you still have a purpose on this planet. Um, and and so I feel like it's our job to find those people and connect with those people, regardless of gender, race, religion, whatever. I don't care who you are, because like you said, it's not my place to judge you. Only
Right.
God can judge, right? And so, regardless of what you've been through, I want to know what your circumstances, right? I don't. I also don't believe in money, right? Like, sure, but like you said, money is just a tool. Money is just a variable that humans created to establish worth for time. So I don't care if you got 1 million in the bank, you're not buying yesterday back.
Yeah.
And so, what did you do today that was intentional with your time to build the kingdom or to connect with others and share the wealth of knowledge and wisdom? Because if you do that and you focus on impacting, how can I change people's lives over how can I raise $1 million, you're going to raise $1 million as a byproduct of impacting people's lives.
Yeah. When I stopped focusing on the numbers and on sales accumulating, and I literally just started giving value to other people genuinely with nothing expected in return, bro, that's when everything started coming my way. And it took me so long to get there. I've been in business 26 years, man. For 20 of them, I struggled and suffered. I listened to personal development books. I was trying to apply it, but I realized that there was just this last little percentage of me holding on and being afraid and not having that faith. Bro, anybody can have faith when things are going right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had to go through the process of having everything go wrong and have my faith tested. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful even the way it shows up now, because I won't always be here to be able to even have those experiences, like you said. You were saying earlier that you've helped other people go from like 3 million to 10 million. Like, what do you help people do? Let people know what you help people do here.
So I'm a business strategist and consultant, primarily in automation and just making businesses run more efficiently. Right. I take a look at your tech stack. I take a look at what the humans are doing in the business, and we simply break down day to day operations. Like, do you personally have to do this? Can a robot do this job? And if a robot can't do it, how is the human doing the job? And how can we make that human as efficient as possible? Right. Like, we took a sales team of 8, for example, right? All I automated one thing in their business and it tripled revenue. And it's because I was like, guys, just take me through a day. Show me what you guys do. How do you manage your leads? How you follow up with your leads? How you call your leads, etc. And it turned out that they just had multiple inner layers of spreadsheets that they're manually moving and tracking and trying to keep up with everything. That there was tons of human error on the spreadsheets. There was, like, literally they were spending hours every day, and a lot of people dismiss 5 minute task, right? Like, that's
Yeah.
like my signature speech that I speak on events is titled, but it only takes 5 minutes, right? Because those 5 minute tasks are what we automate the most, because most people dismiss it because, oh, it only takes 5 minutes. We'll compound the 5 minutes. If you do that 5 minute thing 20 times a day, and then 20 times a day times a week, how many hours are you spending on that? It only takes 5 minute thing. And so I gave every single sales rep 15 to 20 hours a week back just by automating these spreadsheets and giving
Wow.
them a proper pipeline to track their sales, a proper pipeline to track their leads. All the manual follow up where they're like, I got to text this guy and call this guy and do this guy. I'm like, well, we can make robots do that. We can do automated voice drops where it seems like you called them and it deposited a voicemail on their phone, and so that it still feels natural and human like because we're meeting them where they're at in the journey. And so we automated a bunch of the follow up, we automated their sales tracking and the pipeline management. And then once you give 8 sales guys 15 to 20 hours back a week, now they got another 15 to 20 hours back a week to sell. And then it compounds, right? You give that back to one person, you're going to increase some revenue. You give that back to the entire team of 8, they literally over tripled revenue in less than a month.
In less than a month.
Yeah, it was less than 60 days. They went from 3 million to 10 million.
Oh my gosh, man. That's beautiful. That's absolutely beautiful. Well, so I went on your website. What's the name of your website?
Automationgoat.com.
And number one, it's really good looking, by the way. I mean, it's very
Thank you.
professional. Um, it had the book right to the calendar. The calendar was embedded. You also, like, everything that you just said was kind of showing on that website. And if anybody is in any business owner, like I've spent, bro, this one time I spent $60K on something called Builder Trend.
I remember Builder Trend.
Yeah. And nobody on my team wanted to do it, you know, because it took guys in the field. They had to do it. In-house teams had to do it. We spent a month and a half trying to import my Excel spreadsheet instead of their one that they wanted to do that went directly to QuickBooks, blah, 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 blah. But at the end of the day, they weren't marketer minded. They were customer centric focused and especially for a construction company, like focused on the construction industry. But as a real business owner, I need the CRM. I need to have the Salesforce CRM. The platform that you've created has everything inside of it. It has templates inside of it. It has the ability to create the automation inside of it, like already ready to go. It's friggin' amazing.
Yeah, and I've been doing this for a long time. I think I have over 15,000 hours into deploying systems now. I'm an ex-Microsoft engineer, so when I started doing this for business owners, I was just applying my same engineer brain and training from Microsoft, because like at Microsoft, we were saving people millions of dollars a day, because it's like we're dealing with the Navy, we're dealing with the Marine Corps, we're dealing with McDonald's, right?
Yeah.
You save McDonald's a couple $1,000,000, but that I wasn't fulfilled. I was like, well, I just saved a big conglomerate millions of dollars. What if I could go into a business owner and save them $1,000,000 because I automated operations, right? And then the first millionaire I created, I was like, it was so fulfilling because it radically changed their life. It changed how they live. It changed how they thought. It changed everything. It made them a better family person, right? They put them in a position to help other people, help their communities, right? Employ other people, right? It went from just them to like creating teams. Like, so it's just so much more fulfilling to do it for a small to medium business. Go in there and see, like, because they're stressed out all the time. Right? Like we had a client down in California. Like I literally had to fly somebody out there to scan in 80,000 post-it notes because that's how they were doing it. Their CRM was post-it notes around the monitor.
Wow.
On a daily basis, they would just cycle their post-it notes to what they had to do that day. I'm like, let's build you an automated calendar with a sales pipeline and track it. I gave that person almost 30 hours back a week because they're just manually jotting everything down because like they've been doing it that way for 10 years, so they didn't know any other way to do it. And so when I built this out, we had to come up with something because my old tech stack was like 9 pieces of software band-aided together. And so my clients were like, this is fantastic, Marv, but it costs us 50 grand a year just in licensing for all this software. And so and then when we got this platform put together, it was like it eliminated all of those licenses and we can do it and even more inside one dashboard.
And tell everybody again one more time where to go.
Automationgoat.com.
Automationgoat.com. Yeah. And if anybody wanted to connect with you directly, Marv, what would be the best way for them to do that?
You can, I'm Marvin W. Coffman on all social media platforms, but there's a direct link to my calendar right on the website.
Okay. Well, brother, I appreciate you taking some time and being with us today.
Of course.
I think there might be a good opportunity at some point for you to zoom into some of our members inside of Iconic and maybe do a small training. Because we have real business owners here that are looking for real solutions, and we can talk about that offline sometime if you'd like.
Yeah, I'd love that. Any opportunity that I have to pour into somebody else's tribe with my knowledge, I'm always open for it. Well, thank you again for allowing me to be on your show and have me here. It's been an incredible conversation. I love connecting with other powerful entrepreneurs. Maybe we can have you over on Business Nostalgia as well.
Yeah, if you'd like me to, I'd love to come. I love pouring into people. I love loving on people, man. Like it's the gift that keeps on giving. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Well, let's make it happen.
All right. I appreciate you, man. Everybody, we'll see you in the trenches. Take care.
Came from the mud. There's dirt on my hands. Strong like a tree. There's roots where I stand.
Hey friend, if you enjoyed listening to this podcast, please leave a review and subscribe to catch future casts. If you really enjoyed this episode, make sure you share it so others can benefit from it as well. I'll see you in the trenches.
Try to catch me howling at the moon.